Where am I in focus? It's a weird camera. I can't tell where I'm in focus. Hello. It doesn't seem to be in focus. I wonder if the lens is dirty or something. Where's the napkin? Clean the lens. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, quite a bit. No, but it's still weird about where it focuses. Hi, whoever came. I shouldn't be here right now. I had expected to spend the weekend at a sanitarium, a psych hospital. But hey, Bob, how you doing? Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I swear I'm living in a comic book world. I mean, just everything is just so fucking comic book in my life, in other people's lives. Now, the universe is sending me clear signals that I'm doing good. The universe gave me a computer, brand new, never been booted, 3-year-old computer with, respectable process, respectable specs. Hi, Yam. Thanks for coming. It just gave it to me. It was laying next to a dumpster or a nice Dell box that had never been booted before, like a week before the Windows 10 puked on, and it had Windows 7 puked on it. Now I have some really serious enemies who are out lying about me, trying to destroy my life. That they got me kicked off of Medium real quick. I thought that if I give Medium $50, they'd protect me a little bit, but no, hardly anybody saw my stuff. The only clap I think I got on any of my stuff, my longer pieces, was from Jenny Kastner. And she only gave me one because she didn't know about how to do the clap thing there. Hi, Music Biz. Well, I hope you guys are for real. I get a lot of my trust level here with people whose names I don't recognize real low, because I get played a lot. If you'd like to call, here's the number. And they think, they enjoy getting me like to chimp out, and it gets harder and harder for them, because I like to have these Tom moments. I'm not a guy. I'm not a girl either. I'm a two-spirit person. I prefer people relate to me as female. Because I have distinct male and female aspects. It's not really separate personalities at all, so much as I don't know you, and I don't even want to speculate. I'm hoping because of your name that you might have something to do with the music business, and we might be able to do some collaborating that would be profitable for us. But I get trolled a lot, real bad. I have professionals that are messing with me bad. And one of the things they'll do is, get somebody to draw me in, and then haha, fuck you, kind of thing. They'll be lying, and I'll trust them, and then they'll pull some stunt and laugh at me, which I really don't care, because I'm a performance artist. As a human, I'm very honest, but as a performance artist, you never know where I'm going to come from. Okay, I'm totally unpredictable about that. And face to face, if you're fucking with me, cool. I'm see the keyboard? Is it before 10? Yeah, I can give you a little horn. My main money's right here. I play sax, keyboard, and horns. I do backup vocals and conduct orchestra, but I haven't done much of that because I have very serious forces blacking me out, that have been blacking me out since I was too cute of a doobie on Romper Room in 1959. Are there laws against busking? Not here in town. It's all local. Where are you at? And it varies from place to place. Some places are real good for it, and some places it's illegal. Some places you can get a permit pretty easily. Here in Tucson, cops are totally cool because not only, oh boy, I wouldn't even know what to tell you about Minneapolis or who to send you to because I don't have any contacts there outside of my 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 niece's husband's brother-in-law. There's a canine cop there. Yeah, I can imagine. How close were you to how close do you live to that 11th precinct? That was horrible. And that wasn't the people. That wasn't the here's my number. That wasn't the people that burnt that neighborhood down either. That was the white nationalists pulled that shit. And then people in the neighborhood joined it, but it was the white nationalists who knocked out all the windows and set the fires. And you can be sure, I was around in the 60s and was a how you say, and I wouldn't call myself an ally, but I certainly watched the Black Panthers and I agreed with a lot of what they say. And today I'm standing on Fred Hampton's words. You cannot fight racism with racism, and you can't fight capitalism with black capitalism. You have to, it requires racial unity. And then the people standing in solidarity demanding social democracy. But then the problem we have is that, you hear that chant, the people united can never be defeated, but the people deceived can never be united. Here we got this Black Lives Matter shit going on. And excuse me, but do I look white? I'm kind of tan, real pale pink, kind of, And I don't know any black people. I mean, I've seen some real dark ones, but they ain't no darker than real dark brown or purple. I've never seen a black person. I've never seen a white person. And I'm also a biologist, a zoologist, so I know a little bit about why the real scientific reason why people are different colors and why their faces are different. And they're, some of them are tall and some are short and some are stocky and some are, you have endomorphs and ectomorphs and mesomorphs. You got all, we're highly variable species, but there is only one race of us. Now, there are variations on that race, but not specific races. We're only one species. We have external features that are different, but inside we all work the same. What powers us is the same energy from the same sun, and what gives us our bodies is the same material from the same earth. And we need to realize that we're all interconnected and all part of it, and there is no black or white, nothing. Not everybody was man or woman, or black or white. The one. Oh, look at here. You're not going to last long, Cav. Seriously. Meet one of the cyber terrorists. That's this guy's probably not the right guy. It's probably not the same guy. You never know. But that's one of the people that's terrorizing me. Let's see what I got in the horn since it's still early. meh. No, I didn't even get out to the. Yeah, well, I resent being called a pedophile dog fucker by your whole gang. So we're even. Bye. You're gone. I never got out to the West Coast while Harvey was alive, and I hid behind a beard in the hippie music and arts community. Since we got some new people here, that's Grandma. So you're gone. Bye. And it's Auntie. It's zero tolerance tonight, especially with nice people around, nice new people. Anyway, back to Yam Ranch question. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be a girl until my sister's first birthday, and they gave me my first buzz cut. Well, see, that's the thing. I avoided it completely. I grew up in a neighborhood in Chicago, which really wasn't a neighborhood so much as it was the only integrated neighborhood where everybody could live. And so I had plenty of queer neighbors, all different kinds. You were either queer or you were straight in those days. And if you're queer, you might be trans. You're either lesbian, a fag, or trans if you're queer. And if you're straight, you're either monogamous or you're fooled around. And bi just kind of like, they didn't talk about it. Agender people didn't talk about it. This is like, nobody really talking about it. Sex is not a spectator sport until the Pride thing happened. And I wouldn't want to blame Marsha Johnson and Sylvia Rivera for that, because they went, Pride's become a corporate sausage party where, Sylvia and Marsha established the advocacy groups where Pride is exploiting their sacrifices. So that's all messed up because, today you've got all these factions that, don't want to have anything to do with the sausage party. I'm not going to buy rainbow sneakers for $75 that were made in a sweatshop. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Last time somebody told me to look out on the street. Bobo McKimmer, do I have anybody here with Bob Dog? Would you like a wrench to deal with fuck stains like this? So last time, no, I never met any of them. That's what I'm trying to tell you is I hid out. The people I know were in the hippie music and arts community. I knew all the hippies and Pie Man and Dana Beal and Ben Maisel. I was, please, because you've been around for a while. I trust you to be cool. And we're getting some trolls tonight. Now, ask me first. Yeah, if Bobo McKimmer says anything more, I'm from Lakeview. It's now known probably Wrigleyville or Newtown. This is North Lincoln, mid Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park starts about North Avenue and runs up to Foster. And we were at Belmont, was the main drag in my neighborhood. I was on Roscoe Street, 2 blocks north of Belmont. The family spread was on Berry, and the elementary school was on Broadway at Aldine, between Aldine and Melrose. And that was my world growing up, was between my grandparents' house and our house on Roscoe and the school, and then the park and the lake. That was my life between Addison, where the Wrigley Field was, and about Fullerton, which was where the beach was. There were two harbors. There was Belmont Harbor and Diversey Harbor, and then the Fullerton Beach. And then on the north, I would get up. I could get into the park and get up to the next harbor, which was at Montrose. But I didn't go up there so much. I was like, I hung on the rocks a lot. They had, where there wasn't beach, there was rocks. And there were a lot of drum circles there and just hanging out and having fun, drinking wine and smoking dope. I was a designated straight person in those days. I was too crazy to do LSD, so I'd be watching out for people when they were tripping. But when I got out of college, my only way into being able to live authentically and get the hormones, my prayer has always been for healing from the ascended ancestors when they came back. Which is one of the places where the idiots like get on me about, magic space vaginas and space Jews and stuff. I thought I put a wrench on you, man. No, you should be showing right. You should have moderator privileges. So there's the phone number if anybody wants to call. Yeah, so anyway, when I got out of college, I was busking and I could have hooked up with some of the trans sex workers, but I just couldn't see myself turning tricks like halfway between my mother's house and my grandmother's house. That just didn't make sense. And I didn't have the nerve for it. I just couldn't see that. And I didn't have the nerve to do drag, and I just shut up and I grew a beard and hid behind it and started trying to come out in 1985. I've never really been able to identify with pride because I'm, my dream body is monogamous and heterosexual. And I'm in prayer because I'm like a woman who was born with a penis. I never went for any of that woman trapped in man's body stuff. It was like, I was okay. I mean, I had a hard time passing for male. I was so pretty when I was young. And I had boobs and, real shapely legs and all that happy crap that I shouldn't have had. Well, how do you define gay community? Cruising, first of all, I don't think there's anybody who calls himself a proper LGBT advocate who condones unprotected anal sex with multiple partners. Right there. And anything that's protected, anything where you're aware of STI transmission and are aware of, preventing unwanted pregnancies, anything less than that unprotected anal sex or infliction of pain beyond somebody's consent, no kink shaming, man. That's where it's at. Okay, do what you want. Just don't be going around fucking people with no rubber. It's pretty much where it is. They always have been. I grew up on Broadway. I never did that kind of stuff, is what I'm telling you. I was a serial monogamist. I'm heterosexual in my heart, and a monogamist. I'm a wife and mother in my dreams, man. And I never could relate to the whole pride scene because I couldn't see myself having sex with a man and not having a vagina. So I avoided that. And I had relations with women, several of them, but mostly I was alone in prayer, praying for healing. So I avoided that whole scene. I mean, I'm aware of it. Oh, shit, yeah, the bathrooms in parks and forest preserves. That's a real favorite meeting spot, is in the outhouses. Always has been. So, I'm real sapiosexual and real, at this point in my life, I really just want somebody to hug and kiss and roll around naked with and exchange non-essential vital fluids. There ain't no pooper, no pecker going in my pooper, and that's just the way it's got to be. Uh-oh. I didn't know that, but it's possible. It's real possible. I don't know. I never see. I never was part of that scene. You know, I was busking on Broadway, and I had a couple of trans sex workers for pals that we, you know, when we're taking breaks, we'd have hot dog and Coke together. So I chatted, you know, I chatted with them, but I never came out to them. They might have known, um, and you know, and I knew one of them died from AIDS, and the other one retired from sex work, and went to work as a clerk in a hippie one of these hippie department store places called the Smuggler in Chicago. And Real Things, my business was supplying the store. So, you know, I knew her right up until the time that she met her Prince Charming, and he bought her a house in Lake Forest and a brand new vagina, and they settled down for and are having a good life. So I never. That's not me. And since I've been out in it, you know, me and a lot of other people, you know, a lot of trans people came out of the closet. See you later, Bob. That's like, nah, we're not into that. Goodbye. Yeah, 30-second timeouts don't really do anything, Bob. I just hide them from the channel, and they can't ever show their face again. So I unhide them. And then I don't know how to unhide them. Bird of prey. Joe from AMB, he's whining at me all the time about unblocking him. I don't even know how. And I don't even want to. Kenilworth is nice. So, you're from Chicago, Marty? Like, I still have friends there that are in the indie crowd. You know, I was the guys who produced the Peace Fest. Do you know about the mansion on Sheridan Road? You know Dennis Frederick or Sal Schmazzi's? They had the mansion on Sheridan Road there in the, like, late 80s and all through the 90s. I was working with them when I was in town. I was on the road, but I was based there for most of the 90s. Well, that's not good, Zero. I'd suggest you dry out and find a better way to cope with your loneliness. You know, I've been lonely all my life, and have rarely had good friends that I could trust, you know, to count on to be there all the time. I never had that. But I've surrounded myself with other fucked up people and their cool pursuits. That's what Real Things is about. This is not all my work. This is other people too. That's a good start. Playing music helps a lot. Pick up recorder and just start blowing on it a little bit, and get to know the recorder. It's much better for oh, is it Brox? I've heard of her. Right on. Thank you, Yam. You see that, Zero? Yeah, just go for it. You know, loneliness is kind of like boredom. Is that, you know, we have to be our own best friend, especially at a time like this, with you know, where we need to isolate ourselves for our own safety and the safety of others. And you know, we have the internet, which is nice, where we can get online and talk to the camera and have people talking back to us. I mean, I can bring people on. I want to start doing it somewhere else where you know, like Zoom or something, where you can have the people actually in a meeting rather than just one person talking and a whole mess of people in the chatter. Hello, Mike. How are you doing? Nah, well, see, Zero, dig. I don't know how you feel about how I play the saxophone today, but it's been 50 years for me to. It took 20 years for me to get to where I could stand to listen to myself play, and it's only the last few years where I've even think that I've impressed myself at all. I thought you said he was an author. He's a musician. Chance Wilkins. I've been. I have my heroes through time, lots of them, men and women, who. No, it's never too late. It is never too late. You got to keep playing. You got to pay dues. You just got to keep at it. You noticed. You got to keep at it, man. When I was in college, I asked my teacher to teach me how to play bebop, and he said, "No, I can't do that. So you got to pay the dues." Well, what's dues? He said, "Well, you got to play billions and billions of notes until it starts coming out the way you heard it in your head." I can't. I was telling someone earlier, if it's harder than Led Zeppelin or like Aerosmith, it's too hard for me. They'll send around the little games and shit. No, well, when's your first concert? Oh, well, in about 1959, the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I don't think I went to anything but Chicago Symphony Orchestra until I was about 12. I remember we started to go to the Ravinia Festival, which was more orchestra, only there were some jazz artists too. And God, I don't even remember what or where I saw my first. I know I never went to any of the rock and roll shows. I'd go to the jazz and the blues clubs. I remember going to see Steve Bromberg one night, or Dave Bromberg one night, and his guitar player. Oh yeah. His guitar player didn't. It was at the Earl of Old Town. Right about the time they were filming the Blues Brothers, I remember, because I met those idiots. That's a different story, though. You got it. That happens to a lot of us. I put the music down for years at a time, and then you just come back to it. And you have to work past your own disappointment, dissatisfaction with what you're hearing, and just keep working at it until it gets to sounding better. With a woodwind instrument, a lot of people are, they'll try to, get into these fast runs, and it doesn't go anywhere for me. I need to start out longer tones and shorter phrases, longer tones, playing the phrases against each other, and let it build into that run rather than just jump off and start running off a bunch of notes out. Well, dating through, hey man, I like to get paid for this kind of counseling. You're outside my pay grade now. You really are. It's like, keep smiling, stay happy, keep yourself entertained, and always think in terms of entertaining yourself. That when you're lonely, you're bored, you don't know what to do. You've got hands that want to do things, and you got eyes that are taking in senses around you, and you're sitting there and you don't know what the fuck to do. So you get all depressed about that. You got to think in terms of keeping yourself entertained. I read and I played with my fish and played with myself. Playing with yourself helps a lot, and get a lot of shit off your mind just with a quick whack. But I had things that. Well, I don't want to speak too much to video games, and I don't trust them. I never really got into them. it's a virtual world that a lot of these kids are living in, that where they call it LARPing. Where they just pick on people that they find somewhere on the internet and terrorize them. Pull pranks on them, send them pizzas and shit. Well, it's the community. It's the multiplayer role. It's a multiplayer role. It's RPGs where they dive into it, and they're all like World of Warcraft and shit. When I'm bored and don't have anything else to do for the internet, I'll play Scrabble, which is a two-play. You play against real people. Hi, Milton. How you doing? I should have been in the hospital. I haven't even told that story yet because we got off on a different line. I had disappointment. That's the reason for the title. I had struggled for I don't remember when. Yeah, I had to, they were getting so bad about it that I had to call all the local pizza places and tell them that I never ordered pizzas here ever. Yeah, and not to ever send them. They 9/11 pranked me 3 times, and the cops can't do a damn thing about it because they don't have a cyber crime unit. But I play Scrabble. I play Spider Solitaire. I play Yahtzee. And what was the other one? Oh, Backgammon. Are my games. But and I used to love some of the early video games, the big arcade games. I always liked to play pinballs. I'm Tommy. I played pinballs. And the early arcade games like Millipede and Pac-Man and shit like that, there were some of those I really liked, like Zaxxon was my favorite of those. But some of these, some of these games, these multiplayer games, these reality games are disturbing, like Grand Theft Auto. And then some of the empire building shit. This shit's disturbing because it's in real life. You have to buy your weapons. If you die, you stay dead. And if the playing field gets nuked or everybody killed off by a deadly virus, the game's over and there's no reset button. And I think a lot of kids online, especially these kids that go and get up in people's faces, saying things that they know would get them punched in the face in person, are doing it because of this video game mentality, this virtual world mentality, where everything's just like a press of a button, and if something fucks up, you just press the reset button. Well, real life doesn't work that way. And that's what's disturbing to me about it. Now, I think they need to bring back spanking. The more I think about my growing up, the more I realize that my parents didn't really stray that far over what was appropriate ever until the day I clocked him because he'd come at me with a buckle. The more I think about it, the more I realize that my parents, for the period and the way that a lot of boomers turned out, my parents did a good job. They hit us, and my father is an asshole. He knows he's an asshole. He's probably always known he's an asshole because all Wasserberg men are assholes. Now, I've spent my entire life, because I'm not really a proper Wasserberg man, because I'm half woman. I'm not transsexual. I'm intersex. I'm a two-spirit. And my male behavior is just an annoyed woman. It's pretty much what it is. Well, see, yeah. it wasn't just Bart Simpson. Things were already getting fucked up when I was a kid. Because, you know, you got latchkey parents and you got helicopter parents. And neither one of them is going to, like, raise a well-balanced kid. Because they're either giving the kid not enough attention or too much. And yeah, you know, caffeine drinks and video games and shit, and they don't have any reality in their lives. You know, I grew up on acoustic music, and that's healing. That's a healing sound. Metallica's a little much for me. that they're a little over the edge. I can almost listen to them for a minute. Oh look, we have an incoming call. Hello. Bye. I don't know how it happens. I'll turn up my ringer, and it'll turn itself off. And that was Major Zero calling. Which is pretty okay. Now Major Zero's going to need to get a thanks, Bob. Anyway, I never told you what was happening. we got distracted. We have new people here. Music Biz Marty, and I guess he's a homeboy. He's from Chicago, north side of Chicago. Well, see, that's not good either. I really think that you need to hit a kid or a dog at least once, but no more than once, to get their attention sometimes. They need a good sweat just to, you know, make them stop doing what they're potentially going to get hurt doing. This is appropriate treatment and then that's where, you know, 5 whacks with a belt that aren't really that hard, that's more mental than physical. You know, it's not torture. I don't see anything wrong with that, and they've pretty much outlawed that kind of corporal punishment. And I think missing that, you know, children that are not treated harshly for doing things that are inappropriate end up growing up thinking it's okay to do things that are inappropriate. And they need to be disciplined better when they're young, when you don't have to, like, you know, lock them up for a month. To, you know, just a few whacks. You know, make them think about it while their tush is cooling down, and that's plenty. Any more than that makes them resent you. Where was this, Zero? You know, that's pretty abusive. Like, are you white folk, black, Hispanic, trolling me? I mean, I don't trust somebody talking like you in this crowd. I've seen you before, and I don't remember. White folk, coal miners, evangelical. Woman needs to know her place in it's that toxic masculinity stuff. The you know, the white male supremacist stuff, that it all needs to change. You know, I'm so grateful to be watching all this unfold and seeing the people responding as well as they are in most places. Right. Too much beating. And then I think in my generation, there was a certain, you know, I know my family were all hitters, but they were not abusive. You know, all the parents hit their kids, but not a lot. And the kids were good kids, and the kids grew up and had good families and good jobs and were kind to people and weren't hurting people. And so to me, there's a certain validity to some stern punishment for children to get them to have some sense of responsibility for their actions. That's a big problem that we're facing now since Trump was elected, is he's fucking pretty much, okay, well, go beat him up if you don't like it. I'm sorry for that, Zero. People are always telling me how brave they think I was and how sorry they are for what I faced. And I know too many people that faced a whole lot worse than I did. I grew up in a we weren't what you call rich, but we were comfortable. And we'd go out to dinner plenty and go out to the show and travel and live in a nice big apartment and have nice cars. And so we were comfortable, middle class. Well, that's the thing. That's a big part of how messed up the whole idea of sexuality is in our society, is that this traditional family thing is all based on reproduction. And it assumes that you must be male or you must be female, and that you must, when you have sex, you must intend to reproduce. Now, this is entirely unnatural, and contrary to the rest of the animal kingdom. There's like 1,500 species that have been described as engaging in homosexual behavior. Some of them have casual sex, like monkeys fuck each other a lot, dogs fuck each other a lot. And others will have permanent pair bonds, like lions and bonobos are well known for. Penguins, there's been some cool stories about penguins in the zoos where they'll form they'll have the gay parents. Okay, bye, Nicholas. It's nice not seeing you. Yeah, let's see, they're not going to let you do that, man. And Melon's gone. Well, it's just it's this traditional family is expecting, it's all built on finding, it's all eugenics. It's all based on this fake Christianity that the imperialists have built over the last 15. The Zionists, they got the fake Judaism for the project in Palestine, and they got their fake Christianity for all the old colonies of the UK Empire. This friend of yours, Marty, hi. Well, that's just it. The person who dies with the most toys is still going to be dead. And the whole point, at least for me, is like, I was denied what I wanted to do in the way of a career and was forced to fall back on the arts. And when I was, it's like, okay, I'm not going to do anything unless it's fun. When I ain't having fun doing it, if you're paying me enough to do it, I'm going to do it. And I really, over the years, found myself that I only have, every time I try to do anything else, it kind of backfires on me. And I was blessed with this incredible capacity to learn, to process information and store it for retrieval later, to use another, this is, somebody tried to ask me what IQ is. They never measured it really because, and I wasn't the only one they reported this way. I don't know where they get these numbers bigger than 150, but I've never been reported as higher than 150, unless they reported it as beyond uh, what is it? Beyond the accuracy, beyond the range, the accuracy range, beyond the range of accuracy of the test. Is how the last one I ever took got reported. And I don't, the highest there I ever heard them report it at was 154 in one of the elementary school times I took it. But that isn't what's important, because IQ tests are kind of biased, culturally biased. There's a lot of problems with that, where there's cultural bias in these academic tests. You guys got to get a room. um, Dyscalculia. I like that. I never had any trouble with arithmetic or algebra or geometry or anything like that. Calculus stumped me. And Boolean algebra stumped me worse. Calculus I eventually figured out because I had to work with it so much. But the Boolean shit, it was like I ain't getting in that deep to the computer to learn that. I enjoy. I'm what we call a hardware integrator and system installer. Hardware integrator, system installer, and network administrator is what I've been building some little PC networks since the 80s. Gosh, I never thought I'd live this long. I really never thought I'd be living and thinking back across centuries. I just that's just boggling to me. Um, and to be in this kind of shape at 65, I'm like, I look at myself in the screen, I'm like, holy shit. When when I was a kid, when I was a kid, 65 was nearly dead. And people who looked like me were like 35 to 45, 40 years ago. And now, here I'm 65. Thank you. I'm 65, and I have friends who are older than me that look like younger than me. Some are better kept. They don't smoke. I smoke, so I have a little weird. And I've had my face been tore up. If you look at this, was repaired here, and this was repaired there. And it wasn't my face; it was my skull. It was my facial bones that got torn up. I've never, if you look at my face, I don't have any fight scars to speak of. You won't see no fighting scars on this face. Because I never played that. Yeah, and how old are you? How old are you? That's what I'm saying. When my father's father was 65, he'd been dead for 9 years, and my mother's father was either almost dead or had just died when he was 65. I have to ask her. Yeah, sure. The it's been more in the last, I'd say, since 1990, 1995. I think, I don't know what it is that caused it, but since then I've seen that people tending to to live well and have low stress lives and good nutrition and all, they're looking younger and younger. They're wearing well. Young people are wearing well because they're taking care of their bodies. And the people that don't take, and the differences, the contrast. I mean, there's people out there I see all the time that are much younger than me. They're hardcore substance abusers, tore up, looking real bad at 35, 40. Right on. You still live in West Virginia? Chain smoking's tough. I acknowledge I'm addicted to tobacco. I'm addicted to nicotine, and I'm addicted to this. I'm used to sitting with a cigarette. George Burns used to wave a cigar around and not light it. and many of them will have a burning cigarette that they don't puff in their hand. So like that takes care of this, this compulsion is to have to be holding something, and you just keep it out of your mouth. And I've been holding this for about 10 minutes now, and then when you do light it, you don't take it in deep. I've been smoking about that long. I think it was about junior high school. No, I was smoking about a pack a day by the time I was a sophomore in high school. I've never been able to quit, but I've always managed my smoking. I regulated myself. I refused to ever let myself smoke more than a pack a day. And when I was having trouble keeping to that, I started rolling my own, which helped cut down on the number. And then over time, I discovered that it was better tobacco with less additives and much cheaper. I have the nicotine helps my inner metabolism with something, and I can't do without it for very long, and I can't break this habit. But you notice I haven't lit it. There's things you can do, like instead of lighting it, take a drink of water. But I have limeade in here. That's high power limeade too, because it's got honey and ginger and what's it called? Turmeric. I have a friend that's still smoking, and she's dying, and she's lost 40 pounds in the last few months, but she's got terminal degenerative disease that was held back for many years. It's kind of unusual for somebody with MS to live to 80, and she's like 80 something, but she's still smoking. Let's see if I got some more corn here. I'll grab it. I need to mess with the reed a little bit first. I wasn't really pleased with the intonation there. I just got this horn, and I'm just getting used to it. And sopranos are really touchy. You'll hear it if you know what you're listening to. You'll hear the breaks. You'll hear me squash notes, and you'll hear it squeaking and squawking if you don't hit it just right. And they're all like that, but the soprano's the worst because it's the smallest and there's the least margin of error. Well, you don't have to solicit if somebody wants to call. And I don't even know if I'm getting calls because I guess not good. It keeps my phone somehow keeps turning itself off. The ringer. I don't know how it does it. I have no idea, because it'll be sitting on my desk, and I'll turn it up, and the next thing I know, I see it light up, ringing, and it's not making a sound. That was one. I forget what that noise is. The louder the noise, the more important the notification. And that was the notification that somebody mentioned me. And no, they didn't mention me. So suppose I'm following. No, nobody wants me. Everybody hates me. I'm gonna eat some worms. Fat worms, skinny worms, good AV worms. I probably should stand up too. Get out of the seat. I end up like getting lazy. When I sit down, I drop my arms to my side, which isn't good. You got to use your arms like wings. You gotta really, saxophone's a really athletic instrument. Play right, because you got to really get your body into moving the air. You're not just blowing in it. You're pumping that air. I was like, quit while you're ahead. I was totally quit while you're ahead. I was like, I did something that I don't usually do, and quit while you're ahead. And let it sink in to me and anybody who caught it. Something's wrong there. That is not in pitch at all. It's a little better. Much better. like, okay, then what? That was like not wanting to go anywhere. I was totally not wanting to go anywhere. That happens, especially in that key. That's not an easy key to play. It's got a lot of accidentals. No, I can't. I haven't had a TV in 15 years. I don't even know what it sounds like. I'm sorry. I hardly play anything like anybody recognizes anymore. I have a few tunes I pull out every now and then, but I'm totally not in the mood for any of them. and sometimes I'll grab the book and try and play some shit. But otherwise, I'm just messing around with, phrases, playing phrases off each other in different keys is about all I do all day. I'll get out there for 3-4 hours and do nothing but that. And people like it and give me a lot of money. Be real cool if people liked it out here and give me money at PayPal because they can't do it on the street so much anymore. I'm not wanting to go anywhere. I'm more in a jibber jabber mood than playing. I had a very difficult day. I didn't even talk about it yet, and I was going because I refuse to write about what happened until I write it up for a map. I probably won't have to write it because this was so fucking egregious that I'm waiting to hear from a malpractice attorney to see if he wants it. And then if he doesn't want it, I'm going to go talk to another one because this was one institution totally broke protocol and did not fulfill my doctor's orders because they didn't their program didn't allow for what we were looking for, which was just room and board without any treatment. You check into this place, you're checking in for treatment. It's like, no, I was checking in for rest. and they wanted to treat me. And apparently somehow the nurse practitioner, we don't know how she did it because like I was livid with my case manager. I was totally outraged at what happened because they're coming at me like I was sent to them off my meds and suicidal. First of all, there's no meds. I don't take any psych meds. I only use botanicals, and my doctors are aware of it. And they're cool with it because they don't have anything safe or more effective than what I use for what I need. All they got is shit that's gonna hurt me. That it's gonna impair my cognitive ability too much, and it's gonna have bad side effects. In fact, it's gonna hurt my internal organs. Like, no, weed doesn't. I'm really tired of this shit beyond my control. But like I was saying before, the universe never, it's more like a test. It's like this intelligence test all day, every day. When this kind of shit happens, is like it's testing my ability to deal with it graciously without getting violent. I'm getting good at it. It's real hard to get me really angry anymore. I think these pricks piss me off, because it's frustrating to have such inferior, low-life creatures just flagrantly lying about you and convincing people that you're something that you're not and having them ostracize you and attack you for it. believing that something that they heard from some fucking psychopath on the internet. This is very frustrating, very annoying. But I'm managing because my life is working well as long as I keep my main focus on doing right. Keep what's true and enduring in front of people's faces, to let good words flow from my hands. They're going to educate. My aim is to educate the sincerely ignorant who want to learn, to comfort the traumatized. I have a lot of friends online where we're kind of each other's therapists. And to entertain the board, all of my friends who are serious authors are also serious cut-ups, because you just can't be serious all the time. Life's too important to take seriously, because there's so much more to it than the serious shit. You just don't want to get lost in too much fun, or you don't get the serious shit that you need to get done. There's a balance. It was, I think it was Cellini wrote that there's no point in writing an autobiography before you're 45, because it's not possible to have lived enough before you're 45. And by the time I was 45, I already had enough for fucking 3 or 4 books as far as my life experience. And here it is 21 years later. And it just doesn't want to quit. It just keeps getting more and more weird. Let's take a look at the news, because I think I want to wrap up. Well, yeah, I don't want to do any typing. This is a totally cut up night. I'm unloading. I'm venting tonight. I'm having fun. That's why I'm not engaging any idiots at all. I appreciate the new guys and seeing the old folks that are here, and I'll be doing this more often, because I got nothing better to do. Okay, that's not. I see lights on my back wall. I worry about the night I got swatted. Dude said, "Look out your back. Look out your door." And, come on, why is this not focusing? Why does the camera just doesn't seem to want to get in focus? I don't know what's wrong with it. Up there. That's better. I just touched something and it came into focus. Anyway, let's take a look at my feed, see what's going on. This is still fucking uploading. It's been uploading for almost 2 hours now. I don't like the sign of that. That's something I need to finish typing. Dig this shit. Somebody passed this around, made this meme. Every arena in America is closed. No one's sitting in bleachers watching sports. No one is in the orchestra attending concerts. But one guy gets to pack an indoor space and spread a virus he never even tried to contain. His price of re-election is our lives. And there's something terribly wrong there. In the whole Trump regime. I mean, from the minute that he ridiculed the disabled reporter, I don't understand how America could put a man like that into the White House. It just doesn't make sense. Unless you look at it from the perspective of H.L. Mencken had on it in the 1920s, in 1920 itself, in July 26, 1920. He's talking about, I forget exactly where it was. It was a column or a book or something, or a lecture. He said that one day, as democracy is perfected, that what, I forget the exact words in here, but what it amounts to would that a pack of fear-conditioned jackals worshiping a jackass would elect a narcissistic idiot and downright moron to the White House, and they did. And boy, they just did. And still today, there are a lot of people that are like backing it, despite all the lies, all the obvious errors that have cost people lives and businesses, and they still want to put him back in there because Biden's not good enough. And how, if if anybody who is any kind of critical thinker and knows how to look at statistics, they would see very clearly that since Kennedy's assassination, the Republicans consistently fuck up the economy worse, get into more wars, get busted for more sex offenses, get caught with your finger in the wrong jar, corruption and shit, more than Democrats all across the board on all that kind of stuff. And the Democrat, Bill Clinton left us a balanced, he left us a balanced budget, and W totally trashed it in 8 years. And here's this ass clown bragging about the stock market when the stock market is no indicator of the and GDP, shit like that. There's no indicator of the economic health of the people. The stock market is only an indicator of the economic health of the investment bankers. And I'm sorry, but unemployment is higher than it's ever been in my lifetime because of this. I call it the fucking stupidity pandemic. I wanted to write more on that, and I wish that would finish uploading. And we don't have anything here wanting to get written. Yay! A big oh God! Look, what kind of prices are y'all looking? I don't buy factory meat. Who's paying $17.99 for ground beef that ain't exactly fresh and turning a little brown? $22 for ribeye steaks. This is an interesting fact. I've never heard of the band, but now I know. The band GAP, band from Tulsa, Oklahoma, stands for Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, which is the district that was once called Black Wall Street that they burned down like May 31st to June 1st, 1921. The song "You Dropped the Bomb on Me" came from the Tulsa Race Massacre in 1921 when bombs were dropped on Black Wall Street. And I just wrote a photo essay recently about the history of racial violence in America from 1919 to 2020. And invariably, in the old days, you really shouldn't call them riots because they were more massacres. Well, what happened was as the black communities prospered, the white communities would get jealous and burn them out. All kinds of competition for the businesses and jobs and customers, and that was what in Tulsa. It was the worst race riot. It was the worst racial violence in America ever. I mean, unless you count like things like Wounded Knee as worse racial violence. Definitions get funny. I mean, like that. It's like like the Israelis. You call the Israeli soldiers or commandos, and the same soldier on the Palestinian side is a terrorist. Same here. It's like demonstrators are all commie infiltrators, commie agitators, and Antifa terrorists, and it's like, no, that's not who they are. And especially the ones that aren't causing trouble. And I'm running out of steam, I think. My voice is I'm starting to fade. I think I should wrap it up. Yeah. Looks like there's not much, nobody chattering right now. So I want to thank you all for a nice night. I mean, I appreciate the conversation because it helps me move my shtick. So rock and roll. See you next time. Happy day. Bye.